From the campus of the University of Nebraska at Omaha, consider this with Kathy Wyatt, a program of issues and information behind today's news.
Did you know Nebraska is the second fastest state in the nation adopting AI? Nebraska isn't just keeping pace with the AI revolution, we're helping lead it. So what exactly are we using AI for?
Hi everyone, I'm Kathy Wyatt. Welcome to the 29th season and this week's edition of Consider This. Our topic, Nebraska AI. Joining us to talk more about it are the company's co-founders, Jeannie North and Jess Goldoni. Thank you so much for being here and welcome.
Thanks for having us.
All right, I want to start with you, Jeannie.
Okay.
AI in simple terms, what is it?
Yeah, AI basically is technology that thinks and learns like a human but faster. So it takes in data, it figures out patterns, it helps us make decisions faster and automate tasks, whether it's, predicting the next word in a text message or ChatGPT is forecasting your business sales for the next 6 months. That's just AI and its work.
Okay, Thank you. Jess, where did it come from?
Well, actually, AI has been around for quite a long time. It was discovered, 50 years ago. What's new is that we now have accessibility to it. So using tools like ChatGPT or Midjourney or Grok or Copilot is able to access that digital data processor that we weren't able to do before. Think of, you used to have computers that filled rooms. So they used to have that interface to be able to interact with such a powerful machine learning model, and now we have it in our hands.
Okay, $1 million question, how does it work?
That is a great question, $1 million question, and it would take somebody much with many more vowels after their name, PhDs, et cetera, to analyze exactly how that it works. But basically, they have trained machines to be able to learn and digest data and then make predictions on what is the next data set in a string of data.
Okay, thank you. And Jeannie, what key aspects?
Key aspects, those three: data, learning, and application. Data, basically the raw material that you feed it. Learning, which is done with models, usually that improve over time. And application is it in use, whether it's writing content or forecasting data like talked about before, or analyzing customer feedback. The three components have to work together. Otherwise, AI is just a buzzword.
Okay, I want to put up a graphic for our viewers. It's actually a map. And as we're doing that, just kind of explaining to our viewers that Nebraska is ranked second in AI adoption after Virginia.
Yes.
Yeah. So how did we get that ranking, Jeannie?
Well, I think it just speaks to Nebraska work ethic and practicality. I think we are not waiting for Silicon Valley to hand us our silver platter to the future. I think business owners are diving in and figuring out AI for themselves because they know they want to stay ahead. And I think we have a very strong tech infrastructure here in Nebraska, especially our tech community, as well as universities like UNL that's really pushing for innovation. And it's just, we want to lead the way instead of stay behind like we do on a lot of trends in the country.
Okay, we have another graphic, Jess, and as we're putting that up, tell us how Nebraska is currently using AI.
So Jeannie's exactly right. Nebraska is, we have a strong backbone of farmers, entrepreneurs, and educators. We don't wait for Silicon Valley. So our farmers and our university started using it in agriculture spaces, so doing crop twins or analysis on livestock behavior using video analysis, for example. But more so than that, what we're finding is that the everyday user, the everyday student is, and that's what that graphic is that we are one of the fastest states in the nation that are adopting it for personal use. Now, we still only have 5% that are using it for enterprise use, that are using it in their day-to-day business, and they have an AI policy, but they may not have systems in place to actually be able to utilize AI. For example, the zoo just started using it as well. So we're on the cusp of an AI revolution in Nebraska where our businesses are going to start using it and making a more attractive state for innovation to come into our state and for businesses and AI businesses to come here. UNO has a brand new AI degree program. UNL has also an AI program as well. And then Omaha Chamber, Omaha Data Science Academy, Scott Data Center, for example, they're all partnering to really make Omaha and Nebraska the AI center point of the nation.
Right, because it's been said that while we're doing as well as we are in the adoption arena, the difference, there's like this gap between how we're using it casually and how we're using it strategically. And that's kind of where you're headed, right? I mean,
Correct.
how do you explain that to people when they say, okay, what's the difference here? Where are we now and where is it that you want to go?
I think the biggest thing is AI is already here. It's not coming. It's not something that's on the horizon. It's already here. And so our businesses, we've noticed that there is a transition between a fear or apprehension of the unknown to more curiosity. So now they're starting to take it into their own hands on how can I actually use this tool that my employees are already using and students are already using. How do I use it to improve my business? So it was getting over that adoption hump, and it's education. That's why when we say AI literate, we mean understand it so that you can use it for your benefit and for the benefit of your future instead of being afraid of it.
Okay, thank you. So enter Nebraska AI. How do you explain that company to people, Jeannie?
Yeah, well, our mission is to make Nebraska the most AI literate state in the nation. And we do that through hands-on consultation, education with online courses, which will be coming soon, as well as certifications and local workshops as well. We, like you said, we really want to teach businesses and individuals to use AI strategically. And especially in plain English, no tech jargon. You don't have to have a tech degree. It's, we start at all levels of AI experience.
Okay, and before we take a deeper dive into that, I think viewers would be curious to learn how the two of you arrived at this place, right? How did you get here? And talk about the whole collaborative piece in getting this thing up and running, because you've only been doing this for a couple months, right?
Correct. So we
Okay.
launched at the end of July, beginning of August. And Jeannie and I are two peas in a pod. So we both have a marketing entrepreneurial background, and we complement each other in very awesome ways. And we actually worked together for a local healthcare company in the marketing department, and realized that we both had a love and a passion, and also taught ourselves AI. We've been using it since it became ChatGPT in 2022. So we saw launching enterprise-wide in that company as well, launching for other clients. We saw a need to where there's a large force behind traditional education with AI, but there isn't a force behind how do we help our current business owners, entrepreneurs, lawyers, real estate agents, how do we get them to be able to use it? So we saw a gap. Jeannie has an amazing background with education as well, and we are uniquely primed to bring this to the enterprise level in Nebraska.
So
Yes.
Jeannie, talk about some of those initial discussions that the two of you had. I mean, you came
Yeah.
together, you realized there was a need, but what does it actually take, or did it actually take, for you guys to launch this thing? And really, I mean, the wheels are turning.
Well,
you guys are very busy.
Yeah, we had been thinking about it for a while. I think we're also both early adapters of new technology. Myself, I graduated UNL, but also Omaha Code School. I taught at Girls Who Code, so I definitely, anything new technology, I'm definitely on board for. So using AI, and especially at our workplace, it was just a game changer. And I knew this was important. It was a pioneer of revolution of, I mean, it's changing technology as we know it. So we knew if early adopters got ahead, especially teaching, they're going to be ahead of the game. And we want to help, especially in Nebraska, businesses just to stay ahead for sure.
Okay, so let's get started with this discussion, and we've mentioned it, but give us some examples, and I'll take either of you to respond to this,
Okay.
of using AI casually. What would be some examples of that be?
I mean, if you wanted a new eating plan for yourself, let's say you can plug into chat. That's the easiest and freest tool you could use, and the original. But let's say, you had a goal, an eating goal, and you had a budget, and you had specific foods that you wanted to eat. Maybe you're a vegan or vegetarian. You can plug all that in for you, and it can calculate an exact eating plan for you.
Okay, Now just take that, and then how would you make it more strategic?
The eating plan,
Sure.
specifically. So actually, one of the ways that we used it in a business setting is our patients were losing weight. So they were on the GLP-1 medications. So they have no clue what to eat and what to prioritize. So we were able to put, the health practitioners were able to put nutrients into chat. We want them to prioritize protein, fiber, magnesium, etc. These are the foods that they can't eat. Now create this patient a meal plan for 2 weeks that also incorporates a light workout schedule to help retain muscle. So that's using it in something that actually changes the way a business is able to do things. So taking something casually and taking it all the way through.
So when you look at the state and you talk about wanting to make it the best, right? How are you planning to do that other than one step at a time, right? But what is your big picture? What is your vision for this, you guys?
So they call it the AI apocalypse. AI is going, a Senate report just came out where it was something around 400,000 jobs, I believe, that they believe that AI is going to decimate our workforce. So something that is a personal passion of mine for Nebraska is I don't want to just wait for that to happen. I'm not afraid of a fright. Nebraskans have grit. We're not afraid of, preparing for ourselves. So how do we prepare our current workforce and our current companies, especially, finance, customer service? We have large call centers here. How do we prepare those businesses so that they can protect their workforce and actually increase their capability, increase their investment in their current workforce so that they attract new talent here? One of the reasons a lot of the younger people are leaving Nebraska is because they don't feel like they're being invested in their future. They don't feel like what they're getting right now in their businesses is elevating them for their career, for their future. So if our businesses actually invest and take the time to teach their current workforce AI, our layoffs are going to be less. We're going to be able to adapt. We're going to be a cutting edge state. We're going to be a hub. Silicon Prairie is real. We are going to be an attraction for other businesses and young professionals.
The Chamber is also recruiting startups from around the country to actually relocate to Nebraska, and we have a lot of funding for that as well. They're getting grants and applying for more, so they have the funding and they're wanting our startups to be here that are using AI and utilizing it.
I know you're relatively new, but you've had some very interesting experiences, I would imagine. Maybe give us a for example as you think about having worked with organizations here recently, of how you took them from point A to point B, so that our viewers out there who are thinking, this sounds really interesting, maybe we could use this, where we are. Just talk about process maybe in terms of you meet these people, they come to you with a problem, and then you work together to propose a solution. Is anything coming to mind in terms of something that you've done so far?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, right now we're working with basically a one-man startup. He has a SaaS product, service as a
software as a
software as a service. Yes, software as a service. But he basically needed to launch this product by himself. So we came in, we helped him. We are helping him with his full competitor analysis, SWOT analysis. And go to market basically for this product without him having to hire a large team, and also giving him the tools that he can use it strategically and also build this business basically as a individual entrepreneur.
So we've found that you can really use, the best solution for us is to sit down with the business owner and hear how they're currently working their process. What is their client journey? How are they doing that? Where can we put AI to help? Because it's still a tool. It needs to be human in, human out. So where can we put AI in that process to help them have a higher ROI, save time, save money? Whether that's content, research, everything that we're doing for this merchandiser, or is it industry research, or is it a chatbot? Or actually, we've created custom GPTs for clients that will speak in that company's voice. So if it needs to write content for their social media or write a blog post, you can have it completely trained on all of your company data, closed model, of course, have it trained on how your brand voice is, what types of words it should be using, so that then a human puts the information in, creates an entire content plan for, 12 blog articles is done in minutes. And then have a human review that, make sure it's exactly what you want your company to say, and now you have content for your entire year. And that's just content. That's just the tip of the iceberg on how you can use AI in your business. That's not getting into automations and autonomous agents and connecting different softwares with your CRM, for example, lead funnels. They have chatbots for texting now. It's endless, but it starts with, let's have an honest conversation about how you do business. What are you trying in your personal life? How do you want to use AI in your business?
I think it's also really helping them automate the repetitive tasks so that they can focus on creativity and innovation and growing their business.
Yes.
What has been, as you're speaking with these organizations, the greatest roadblock, especially in the beginning of the process, whether it's the way they're trying to explain it to you, whether it's how you're receiving it? What are you finding, maybe if any, to be a challenge just to get it started?
Overwhelm.
Yeah, I think they're very intimidated by AI when in reality it's a very user-friendly tool. And if they just set aside, a couple minutes a day to learn it, they'll find that it's very intuitive and it speaks like a human. It actually speaks. There's no coding required. You can literally speak to it. And so, yes, I think it is overwhelm. I think they don't know where to start, what tools to start, or just to begin.
They already feel behind.
Yes.
They already feel like they're behind the curve. They're already missing out. But it really is the way that Jeannie and I can translate it into every day for you. What does this AI thing mean for you? Concrete. What can we do for you? And let's start here. This one little piece. Let's save your repetitive task. Let's do a chatbot, and then see what happens, and then try the next thing, and then try the next thing. The way we taught ourselves AI is, I dive in. I know you do too. When we're excited about something, we go all in, and I was obsessed from the beginning. And I think once you start using it, you just understand how it can make you a more efficient, but also it helps you critically think as well, because it helps challenge you and think about things in a different way. When you don't have to do the boring tasks, it opens you up for more possibility.
What do you find to be the most commonly asked question as you're walking these businesses through this process and they say, oh, this is all great up to, and you find that question kind of coming back again and again? Is there something like that with what you're doing?
I think it's more so just how to execute. So during an AI audit that we do, we lay out for them how they can improve with automating workflows, but knowing how to implement all of them is a bit of a struggle for businesses as well. And that's where we come in and also set that up for them.
I think the biggest thing too is this isn't going to replace half your workforce immediately. It's not like AI is some switch that you can flip and, oh, well, you can just run all of that with AI. No, you actually can't. You do need somebody who understands it, that can use it as a tool, and then be able to set it up, because there's times where it will hallucinate, it will lie, it will make mistakes, it needs to be checked, it needs to be verified. Your automation will break down somewhere that you need to be able to figure it out. Your vibe-coded app will have a piece of code that's just off on it. So it's understanding that it's not a 100% turnkey solution, that you still need people, which means you, that you're going to have, especially our C-level people that we meet with, you have to have a basic understanding of what you can do with and without AI. And then bring in the programmers and bring in the coders if you need that. But we all just need to, it's here. It's like the cell phones, like the internet. It's here. We need to do it smart with guardrails, energy consumption in mind, and just let's go forward. Let's take the next step.
You're two people. Do you have anybody else working with you? Okay, so you lay it out, you go in, you walk through the process. So my question becomes, as I'm listening to all this, what is there in terms of follow-up? In other words, do you ever leave an organization and think, oh, I really hope they're going to cross those T's and dot those I's to make sure that this is really all going to shake out the way that we suggested they do it? So what does a process like this entail in terms of the follow-up?
We have follow-up built in to our process. So whether that is an ongoing course that you can take online, or if it is, we offer, the merchandising client that she's speaking of, we came in with an audit, we fully evaluated how he was already using AI in a lot of different ways, and then we said, you know what? You actually do need almost a fractional CMO. You almost need a marketing department, AI enhanced and AI powered. So we had a follow-up retainer that was part of that process. But we will never just leave you high and dry. There's always something we can help you with, and we can help you on your budget. So it doesn't have to be a retainer. It could be a one project. It could be consulting hours if you just want to ask us questions, if you just want to meet with us once a month and we can follow up with you and see how it's going. We also do lunch and learns. So if a company wants us to teach their customer service department, for example, we'll come in and teach them the basics of AI and have a leave behind. You'll have a full roadmap as part of the consultation. With follow-up items on there. So it's a Chinese menu of how you would like to do this. You don't have to do it alone.
I think also we will, the first of the year, we will be launching courses as well. And that's almost like a follow-up as well. And then also we wanted to do continuing education is what I was trying to think of. Continuing education, especially for businesses, okay, they learned, what we taught them so far, but they want more. So how can they learn that? And that's where the courses will come into play, as well as we'll be building an online community. So after the courses, they'll be able to chat with us and other business owners in Nebraska to learn how they're using AI and swap tips. So that is the goal. And we'll also be working with the chamber as well. And our courses will be on there.
Okay, so Jess, if I were to put up a sheet with bullet points and I were to say, state the benefits of what it is that you're doing, how would you line that up?
As far as what Nebraska AI is doing?
Sure.
The benefits of what we're doing is we are small and mighty. We move very quickly. We don't have the same red tape or the slower process that a university needs to do to be able to put a program together. We're connected with the chamber and with other entities here in the state. We understand how to run a business. We understand how to market a business. We've both owned businesses ourselves. And we're the ultimate translators. So we're translating a very difficult topic to what does this mean for me? Base tax, what does this mean for me? What can I do with it? How can this improve my life? So we are that bridge between those two.
Okay, so I'm a business and I'm sitting in front of the two of you. I'm just going to end this with a few questions here.
Yeah.
Job creator or job killer? Is AI a creator or a killer in the business world?
I think it's both. I think it's absolutely creating jobs, but the types of jobs are changing. So you're going to have to develop new skill sets. Everyone is. Like Jess said, it's going to be as normal as the internet. So we have to be learning these skills now. Otherwise, those people that are not are going to fall behind. So the jobs are changing. Now, like we said, it will take a lot of the repetitive jobs, but that leaves room for more jobs that are more creative, innovative, more higher level. So I see it as both. Jess?
I concur. I completely concur.
Okay.
I see it as job empowerer, job enhancement, because I do think, I agree, it will eliminate some repetitive jobs the same way that the smartphone eliminated the yellow pages. Progress requires evolution and elimination, but that also means that you have a very rare opportunity to stay ahead of it. You have the resources now, it's low cost. If you can become AI enhanced, you've automatically added something to your resume that will become more attractive to any other company if you do happen to be reduced.
Okay, some say AI valuation is overestimated, going so far as to say it's a bubble. Jess, what do you say?
I don't disagree. And I'll say it because it's new, it's big, and there's not a concrete product. The other thing that's concerning is that it requires data centers. And so a lot of these large corporations or even the startups that are building their own machine model, ML model, are needing to build data centers and are having to leverage those and finance those. There's some concerns, but I will say that we learned the first time. So I think that the right economists are paying attention to the right flags so that we can not have that happen again. We don't need another .com bubble. I think that this one will do it more intelligently and with more experience.
Okay, we have just a couple minutes left, and in those couple minutes, I'm going to give you each 1 minute.
Okay.
Maybe address something that we haven't addressed so far that you think would be important for our viewers to know, talking about Nebraska AI today. Jeannie, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I think that, I guess we have hit a lot of that, but I think basically I want to say that AI, especially if you're a business owner out there and you're not sure where to start, I will say that it's not for big businesses or for tech companies. I think that you just, whether you're a farm or a class or a small business, you need to start today. Mm-hmm. And because those skills will be essential. You need to stay ahead for your business, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jess, what about you?
I think that I'm very excited about the time that we're in right now. And I think it's changing very, very rapidly, but it will be beneficial for our society. I think that we need people at the table that understand what is going on to be able to put guardrails and be able to help educate our workforce and our company leaders. But if I was speaking to one person right now, I would just say, use with caution. It's trust but verify. Enjoy it. Play around with AI. Use it in your business. See how it can enhance your business. But just always keep in mind that there needs to be a human in, human out, and we as a population need to understand it to be able to take advantage of it. And Nebraska is uniquely primed to be the hub of everything technology, but everything AI related. And I think that we have the talent here, we have the knowledge here, we have the expertise here, we have the funding here. There's nothing that's stopping us from taking this and running with it.
All right, talking about Nebraska AI today with co-founders, right? Yeah. Jeannie North and Jess Goldolny. If people want more information, they can go here. We'll put that up for you. It's nebrask.ai. hello@nebrask.ai. That's the email. And the phone number is 402-881-0462. I want to thank the two of you for joining us today, share your time and expertise, and I want to wish you the very best moving forward. What an endeavor, but I have no doubt you will just tackle it and keep everybody on track with what we're talking about today.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kat.
You bet. Thanks to our students who are working so hard behind the scenes, and of course, to all of you for watching. We'll see you next week.
Consider This is an issues and information program produced by UNO Television in the School of Communication. More information and program archives can be found at nebraskapublicmedia.org/considerthis. If you'd like to share your comments about this program, call the UNO School of Communication at 402-554-2600 during regular business hours. Or send an email to cwyatt@unomaha.edu.
You are a maverick. You stand ready to change the world. You are an innovator with bold ideas and a vision for the future. You are determined to turn your dreams into reality. You are a leader, committed to making a difference. Your passion for finding solutions transforms research into real-world impact. You are unique, and your voice matters. Your individuality breathes life into the community you're shaping. You are driven, always striving for excellence. Your passion, your hustle, it's not just about today. It's about opening doors to tomorrow. Every skill you sharpen, every connection you make is building the foundation for your future success. With Omaha as your campus, you're at the center of it all. Here at UNO, the possibilities are as endless as your potential. You dare to dream, to innovate, to lead, to shape a brighter future. You are a maverick.
there seems to be like this gathering right here of really great minds and really great ideas.
I think it's a great moment, to teach a UNO student.
Being here, I get like a jump start on my journalism career.
I found a lot of people that are interested in like the same things as me.
Sort of a lifetime changing career for me, and the best way it could happen.